I want to fight. But in real life, I just meant what I said.
Monica rose to fame at a very young age, and she was ready to take on the world. But then her life took a devastating turn and everything fell apart for her. But what exactly happened? Monica is an American singer, actress, and rapper who began her career when she was just a kid. She started off as a child performer and she became a part of a traveling gospel choir at the age of 10. But it wasn't until she turned 11 that she really started to make it big. Monica signed up for a talent show with a $1,000 cash prize. And after she blew the judges away by singing Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All, she stole the spotlight and won the competition. But the competition wasn't the only thing she won that day. In the audience was Rowdy Records owner Dallas Austin. And just a few short weeks after her performance in the talent show, Monica landed herself her very first record deal. At just 11, Monica signed with Rowdy Records, and 2 years later, she released her very first single, Miss Thing. And when she started her acting career by making appearances in TV shows, it seemed like there was just no stopping her. By the time 2003 rolled around, Monica became the youngest artist to have a #1 record. And let's not forget how she became a teenage Grammy winner. Monica had it all: the fame, the influence, and most importantly, the talent. But unfortunately, she also had the tragedy that came with being in the spotlight. And the first tragedy she witnessed while in the spotlight happened when her ex-boyfriend, C. Murder, took the life of a fan of his. C. Murder, or should I say, Corey Miller, was born on March 9th, 1971. And by the time 1990 came around, his rise to fame had begun. It all started after he got signed to No Limit Records, where he eventually ended up releasing 9 albums. By the late 90s, Monica and Corey had started their relationship. They were introduced to each other by Foxy Brown, aka Inga Marchant. Their relationship was pretty much love at first sight, so it moved really fast. Although they kept their relationship under wraps for the most part, Monica did give some insights about what really went on. According to her, Corey was a really supportive partner, and he was always there for her, especially when she needed him. A perfect example of this would be the time her heart condition caused her to collapse and spend a couple of months in the hospital. And throughout the time she spent in the hospital, Corey was right there by her side. At one point, they even got engaged, and everyone thought they were genuinely endgame, but it didn't take long for them to end their engagement and go their separate ways. And coincidentally, this happened right before the night of January 18th, 2002, a night that could have very well ruined their relationship if they hadn't already split up. On this very night, a 16-year-old boy named Steve Thomas lost his life after a fight at a club in Louisiana. During the fight, Steve was beaten. That was already pretty bad, but then he got shot. The very next day, Corey was taken into custody as a prime suspect in Steve's passing. Apparently, he was the one who fired the shot that took Steve's life, but his defense pleaded otherwise. According to them, Corey did fire a shot that very night, but his firearm was jammed and he wasn't the person who fired the bullet that ended up taking Steve's life. As you could expect, even though Corey and Monica weren't together when this happened, somehow she still managed to get roped in with a controversy, which just isn't fair. But what's also crazy is that it wasn't the only time Monica got into a relationship with a troubled man. She was also involved with Jarvis Weems, and when they were together, she found herself in one of the darkest times of her life. Not long after she started dating Jarvis, his brother Troy passed away in a car accident, and this is what many people believe was the incident that started a domino effect of tragedy occurring in Monica's life. Shortly after Jarvis's brother Troy passed away, Monica's cousin Selena also passed away at the age of 25 due to a brain aneurysm. And then while she was still grieving, something else happened. Jarvis actually took his own life in front of her. In July 2000, Monica and Jarvis went to visit the gravesite of Troy, but their visit wasn't just your regular one. According to Monica, Jarvis told her that he was going to be with his brother Troy. At first, she didn't really understand what he meant by that, but when the realization set in, Monica knew she had to stop Jarvis from what he was planning to do. Unfortunately, she didn't make it to him in time to stop him. When Monica rushed over and found Jarvis in his car with his windows rolled up and car locked, she tried convincing him not to go ahead with his plans, but still Jarvis pulled out his firearm and pulled the trigger on himself. In an attempt to save Jarvis, Monica rushed over to her own car, grabbed her firearm, and shot Jarvis's window down. While waiting for the paramedics to arrive, she tried consoling Jarvis, telling him that everything was going to be fine. But unfortunately, 29 minutes later, when the paramedics finally arrived, Jarvis had already lost his life. Now, Jarvis's passing was ruled as self-inflicted, but his mother didn't actually believe that he was the one who took his own life. According to her, Monica knew more than she was letting on, and her reason for believing this was because the bullet went into the right side of Jarvis's head, and apparently Jarvis was left-handed, so it made no sense for him to shoot himself with his right hand. And to an extent, Jarvis's mother was right, because Monica did know more about what had really happened to Jarvis. It took a while for Monica to actually admit that Jarvis didn't just randomly take his own life. According to her, Jarvis was dealing with something, and before he passed away, he actually told her why he couldn't live anymore. But as you may already have guessed, Monica never told anyone why. According to her, Jarvis gave her his reason in secret, and he didn't leave her a note, a letter, or any of that stuff because he didn't want anyone else to know. And to this day, she still insists on protecting his privacy until they meet again. In her words, no matter what happens, she's never going to tell anyone what Jarvis told her before he passed away. She owes him that much to keep quiet. It took Monica a while before she was ready to move on, but she did eventually find love again. She got married to Shannon Brown in 2010 after giving birth to her first 2 children with Rodney Hill. Unfortunately, she and Shannon got divorced in October 2019, but they do share a child together named Layla. It's clear that Monica's been through a lot, but it seems like she's also been able to find happiness, and I honestly just wish her the best. But what about you guys? What do you think about all this? Did you know that Monica experienced so much pain and loss? Let me know in the comments below.